Hey, what's up, y'all? Classic Kev, back with another episode. Honestly, probably the most important episode yet. So I'm sure y'all witnessing, just like me, your portfolios red. Solana's dipping, Ethereum, Bitcoin, everything's dipping, and you're wondering why. I'm going to go over it in this video. So again, let me start by saying, y'all, that these markets are like 70% institutions, hedge funds, big money, right? And all their friends and some of their clients are trying to get money into these markets, right? So in order for them to get money in these markets, they want prices at certain levels, right? I mean, who doesn't want to buy something at a cheaper price? So what happens is when these institutions start pouring money, you ever notice like Voyager and Coinbase, they'll just go down in the middle of the night and then some big buy or big sell will happen. Those are the big boys. They make phone calls and that's what happens. So what happens is when these people are buying, people like you and me and medium, high or medium-sized investors, they're using what's called leverage. They're establishing leveraged long positions. So they're borrowing against their portfolio and hoping that Bitcoin or Ethereum's price will go up, right? So when this happens, the brokerages have limits. And what'll happen is they'll get liquidated. So if they leverage too much and then the asset that they're leveraging goes down too much, so meaning that they're leveraging their assets on Bitcoin, but then the price is dropping, then the brokerage will automatically initiate a margin call and will sell all that person's assets to cover the margin debt that they just borrowed instantaneously. So what happens is that if the asset continues to go up, there's no margin call. So when they're leveraging, now those assets are getting overinflated. So that's why you'll see, something go up, 30, 50%, 60, some crazy numbers that you don't see in the stock market because this is a worldwide game, and they're able to use leverage. The stock market is a lot more, it's a lot more controlled, and you can leverage trade in the stock market, but in crypto, it's more the wild, wild west, right? So, so again, guys, we just had a congressional hearing. It actually went pretty good. I mean, some of our politicians were still kind of clueless on what it is, but at least they're there listening. You had the Sam kid, the CEO of FTX. He's like one of the youngest billionaires in the world, y'all. And they're educating people. Every day, people are learning, y'all. Every day, this stuff's getting adopted. And I'm telling y'all, I own a credit card processing company. I own an ATM company that in a snap of a finger, all of these businesses can be taken Solana, Dogecoin, Ethereum, you name it. So let's get into some news, and I'm just gonna show you that this might be not financial advice. This might be one of the greatest buying opportunities you could ever witness. So look at this story. 90% of all Bitcoin has been mined, but the remaining 10% will take over 100 years to reach on the open market. So guys, the Bitcoin in the white paper, basically the code, they programmed it that they didn't want it all mined at once. They wanted it to kind of slowly come out over time. It's really, from an economic standpoint, it's truly brilliant what they did in that white paper. So what this is basically saying, guys, this is a deflationary asset. They can't make any more of it. So it's like real estate. When it's gone, it's gone. But in my opinion, this asset class is actually more valuable than real estate. And you're like, oh, Kevin, how can Bitcoin be more valuable than real estate? Because this is an asset that you can truly own. It is an asset that there's no intermediary, meaning that, all right, I own this house I'm in right now. I own it. If I don't pay property tax, it ain't going to be my house no more, right? And furthermore, if I want to move to Florida, I can't take the house with me. With Bitcoin, it's an asset class that has no middleman. And it's movable. If I want to move out the country, if this country goes to war, God forbid, and I have to, evacuate to another country, can't take my house with me. I can take my Bitcoin with me. So guys, it's scarce. It's movable. It's a store of value. So I know, guys, these dips suck, but let's just keep going. And look, here's the chart. Let me start by saying I borrowed this. I borrowed this from the Wolverine guy, James at Invest Answers. Hands down, close this video. Exit this video and go. If you're trying to learn something, exit this video and go watch him. Don't watch me for education. This is entertainment purposes only. James is the Wolverine guy is the best YouTuber hands down. But all right, he made this, and this is what's very interesting. That if you see a Bitcoin supply allocation, so this is all the Bitcoin that's in circulation. So you see this 62% cold storage. What that means is basically people that put their Bitcoin on this, like a Ledger Nano, and they're take it off of the internet where they're using it as a store value. Think of this like a safe. Like anybody, so this 62%, they have their Bitcoin in a safe or it's generating yield. They have it somewhere in cold storage where it's just, they're letting it build its value, right? But coins lost to date, guys, almost 20%. There is a lot of people who lose their Bitcoin. They lose their Bitcoin, like they lose their keys, or they lose, the hard drive fails or something. So there's a lot of Bitcoin that's just lost, or people send it to the wrong address, and that Bitcoin's lost forever. So then the Satoshi lockup, 5.5%. What that is that Satoshi Nakamoto, the guy, the alias of who created Bitcoin, that he has a wallet that nothing has moved in it, and it's got about 5.5% of the total supply. So if he's dead, which a lot of people think he's dead, I'll do a video on that, what I think later, but if he is dead, then that supply, that 5.5%, it's gone forever. It can never be accessed unless somebody, finds those master keys, which holla at me if you do. All right, but here's the most important stat. If you're listening to anything, listen to this. Coins on exchanges, only 11.1%. So, y'all, the supply is very scarce, and you have big players coming in every day buying. You have, like El Salvador, entire nation states buying this. So, supply and demand, y'all. Supply and demand. All right, now, again, when I say big nation states, it's not just that. You also have publicly traded companies. Guys, look at all these companies in countries buying Bitcoin. Do you think in the next 2 years that this number is going to grow? Meaning that in the next 2 years, will more publicly traded companies buy Bitcoin or less? Do you think that when you see Ukraine, Finland, El Salvador, Bulgaria all buying these insane amounts of Bitcoin, do you think more countries will buy it or less? Of course more are going to buy, because the more they buy, the higher the price goes. Because it's supply and demand. It's a deflationary asset. Y'all smart. Y'all figuring it out. And look, this, in HUD 8, I did a whole video. If you want to learn about these mining companies, I did a whole video on my top 3 mining companies that I'm personally invested in. And HUD 8 was one of them. They passed my test on investing in the company. And this is what they tweeted. 90% of all Bitcoin has been mined Monday morning, according from the data from Blockchain Tracker. So HUD 8 has 5,242 of them and counting. So, guys, the miners aren't selling. So these big mining companies, they know what I know. They're like, why would we sell the most valuable asset? Because think about it, y'all. Why is this? Why would you? What are you going to put your money into? You're going to keep it in cash? Look, even Tucker Carlson said people that buy Bitcoin when they decide the US dollar is no longer safe. Y'all, look around you. Inflation is the silent killer. The price of gas is going up. The price of food's going up. The price of everything is going up. Look at the real estate values. It's insane. But let me play this quick little clip of Tucker, and he'll kind of explain.
Biden, how inflation is at 7%. Read some more government numbers to us. One group that would never even consider believing numbers like these, crap like this, is investors. They're not looking at the consumer price index. They do this for a living, and they know exactly what dangerous inflation looks like. And that's why they're buying hard assets. You see it everywhere. The median sales price of an existing single-family home in Austin, Texas, increased 33.5%.
All right, y'all. So I know that's a wild concept that the dollar is going down in value. So you're seeing all these assets go up in value because people are trying to get their money out of the dollar, because when they print all this money, they're devaluing it. So you want your money in hard assets. Guys, tell you right now, I don't have a lot of US dollars to my name. I have a bunch of assets though. I've got $1 million in real estate. I've got a shit ton of crypto. I've got a bunch of stocks. So let's continue. And guys, so Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategies, he just bought 1,434 Bitcoin worth $82.4 million. So you're going to start seeing more of this. Because these publicly traded companies, they have shareholders they have to answer to. Their shareholders are going to say, hey, hold on, you have all this cash in the bank. won't you allocate 5% of it to Bitcoin, right? So think about it, guys. If you're Apple, you're a publicly traded company, and you have millions and millions of cash, right? And you know that millions and millions, even the Fed, Joe Biden, they've come out and admit that inflation is real. 15% per year, I think is what they're saying. So if you're somebody that has a bunch of cash on your balance sheet and you can invest just 5% in Bitcoin, 5%. So let's say it's wrong and you go to zero. Well, you only lost 5%. You're losing 15% per year. Common sense right there. But so that's all going to happen over time. So, and guys, look at this chart. Bitcoin profitable. So 99.3% of people, Bitcoin's been profitable over 99.3% of days in its existence, meaning that basically anyone who has bought Bitcoin throughout the history is in profit. So most of you complaining about these dips, you haven't been in long enough, and in a year or so, you're going to really look back and say you really messed this one up, because guys, if it dips anymore, I'm telling you right now, you can record this. I will sell one of my houses and put it all in Bitcoin. It's just, it is what it is, guys. I mean, this is the future of money. This is the future of our entire financial system. There's no other way. The country's in crazy debt. And the only way they can get out of the debt is basically they're borrowing, they're opening new credit cards to pay the old credit cards off, right? So how do we get out of this mess? Well, if we don't fix it soon, you need to go look up countries that have what's called hyperinflation. Zimbabwe would be one where the paper that the paper that the money's printed on is worth more than the actual money. Now, I don't think we'll see hyperinflation here, but I don't know, y'all. I'm not going to take that chance. I'm putting my money in real estate. I'm putting my money in crypto. I'm putting my money in assets because, you know, real estate especially, you know, one of the best asset classes, you know, but I'm over, you know, if I got $1 million in real estate, I don't have $1 million in crypto. So I want to get a little more exposed to this market. But anyway, y'all, so I know these dips suck, and it's frustrating for me too, but just understand, y'all, that the supply is running out. And when it booms, they you know, guys, think about how hard it is for you, right? If you got a Coinbase or a Voyager account, think about what you had to go through to get your little couple $1,000s from your bank, put money in the bank, transfer the money to the bank to Voyager Coinbase, initiate the buy. Guys, you're talking about asset managers that are managing millions and millions of dollars that are in stocks and bonds or real estate, and they're having to close out those positions and move money around to get in these. So, guys, nothing bad happened in the news. There was nothing, you know, besides, you know, the variant news, but I don't want to get banned, so I'm not going to get into my thoughts on that. But just understand that, you know, the media lies to you. The mainstream media, like they bold-faced lie to you. And why do they do that? Well, they want to instill fear in your mind. You know, if you watch the news, what is it? Negative, fear. Now, but Kevin, why would they do this? Well, honestly, if I told you why they did it, they'd probably ban me off of here. So you just gotta, you know, do your own research. And anyway, y'all, I'm not selling anything, and I'll be buying a dip as soon as I get some damn cash. But anyway, y'all, I'm Classic Cav. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm out. Peace.